So this Bionicle set rarely pops up. It's quite rare to see it for sale, and I don't know, not many people have it in their collection. But still, there's a big demand for this set. Now, why is it so rare? What's it worth? And what exactly is this set? Why is it just a big bird? Well, let's dive in and find out. Also, get ready to see some incredible play features in today's episode, because this set is loaded with them. And of course, we're going to look at a few revamps of these creatures and see how you could use their parts and pieces to build your own cool LEGO creations. Here we go. So this is set number 10023 and it's called Master Builder Set. It's really cool. It was released back in 2002 and it included a bunch of different pieces, as well as multiple sets of instructions. These allowed you to build up to 15 different Rahi creations. That's pretty cool. But how exactly could you obtain this LEGO set? Well, you could only buy this online through the LEGO Shop website back in the day. That was it. That was the only way to get it. It was actually pretty cheap. Back then it cost $13, $12.99. But you know, this was 2002. Yes, people did online shopping back then, but certainly not in the way that they do today. Which means that it's very likely there was a limited amount of these that were shipped out and sold online. Plus, I was a kid buying Bionicle sets back in the day in 2002 and loving it. But I don't remember seeing this set advertised anywhere. Maybe I just missed it all, but honestly, I didn't know this set existed until last year when I had a friend who told me about it. You just don't see it all that often. Yeah, I've been collecting Bionicle sets for well over 25 years now, and I have never seen this for sale at any convention, any secondhand store, or anything like that. There are some for sale on Bricklink right now, however. If you want one, it's about 150 Australian dollar dues, or roughly $100 US. But if you want this sealed in box, the only one that's on Bricklink right now is 658 Australian dollar dues, or $450 US. Crazy. The parts included in this set, they're not actually that exclusive. Yes, you do get a few old rubber bands and some old grey parts. Those kind of pieces can be a little bit harder to come by, but they're not exclusive to this set. The only pieces that are exclusive, however, are pieces like this teeny tiny red flex tube. It only comes in this set in this size. If you want this, it costs about 5 to 7 Australian dollars, which is about like 4 USD. Not a huge amount, but for such a small piece, it's kind of expensive. But the real kicker is both halves of this gearbox element. It only appears in red in this set. Now each half of this gearbox, it's going to cost you 30 to 50 Australian dollars, which is about 30 USD each. So $60 to make up the full thing. Dang. Yeah, this is a rather obscure and often forgotten set that you just don't see every day. But all of the Rahi that you can build in this set, they are fan-loved creatures. They've popped up in books, comics, video games, and the designs are just adorable. Let's check out all 15 models that you can build in this set. The first creature you can build is Kofo-Jaga, a fire scorpion. It's cute, and it's a very effective little design. I like that the stinger and the pincers are red. All the danger zone areas are bright red. It kind of makes sense, right? It's also just a cool way to block out some of the colors on a set like this. There is a rather strange play feature on this one. The set allows you to move the eyes just a little bit, and the rubber band helps it bounce back into place. I guess this counts as a play feature? Still, the scorpion design is awesome. I love how this is made. The next model you can build is Taku, a duck-like creature. There's something so delightful about this classic 2002 design. The way that they use early Technic pieces and older Bionicle parts, it feels so nostalgic and so charming. Like these red Technic panel pieces for wings, or the silly looking duck bill that uses a Technic connector in orange. Honestly, these are really nice part uses. I love the simplicity here. This is so cute. Over to Hoto, a fiery insect that gives off waves of heat. Look at his little proboscis and these soulful eyes. Repurposing these Technic panels for bug-like wings or a kind of shell, that's so smart. Yeah, I love that this set doesn't give us any heroic Toa who fight for good or evil Makuta that want to rule the world. No, you just get a silly looking bug that's a little bit robotic and clunky. He's the best. I mean, just look at his little legs. So precious. Sliding on down to the next model, this is a rookie fish. Using almost exclusively Technic lift arms, it gives us the rough shape of a fish, and I think that's so cool. Sure, there's a big old gap in the middle of the torso, but that kind of adds to the charm of this fish. The design reminds me of old metal scaffolding, and it's very reminiscent of early Technic Lego sets. I don't know, this just feels so in line with that early Bionicle design that we got in the early 2000s. I think it's truly delightful. Oh, and this play feature too. You can push down on the fin, and the mouth opens and closes, allowing it to, munch on food or snap and bite its prey. Such an effective and clean mechanism. And to pull this off on such a little small dude. Perfection. One of my personal favorites is the Fiku Spider. I mean, look at this little face. His cute, posable little face. And using Nuparu's mask for the abdomen on the back, great part use. Now, if you're curious, this is actually a little different to the Fiku Spider polybag set. Yes, the model looks almost identical, but when we remove the mask, we can see that the mutter heads underneath are different colors. So there you go, 2 different variants of this guy. Up next is a shore turtle. I mean, this set might just be the cutest Lego set ever made. Look at this guy. What a fun idea to use this axle connector for the neck and the face, turning him into a bit of a longer neck turtle. Very smart. And then he's got this teeny tiny play feature where you can boop the tail and the legs kind of fold down. I guess this allows him to sit. So much to love here. Transitioning into a vulture-like Rahi, this one is Kua. So far all of the animals that we've been looking at, they mimic their real-world counterparts. But I don't really see a vulture in this design. To me it looks a bit more like a dragonfly. Still, it does look good. There is a slight play feature here. If you move the gears on the back, the wings flap a little bit. Simple, but effective. Now, this might be my least favorite of the bunch, but it's still well designed. Maybe the community's favorite Rahi, this is the Husi. The tiniest possible head with a super thin beak. So cute. And so freaking silly. Long neck, tiny head, small eyes, and then fairly large feet. All these dorky proportions, they make me smile. The play feature is also a lot of fun. You twist the gear on the back and the neck lowers down. I guess this allows it to eat food off of the floor or something like that. This is nice. Now it's time for crab. We have the legendary Usul crab. I mean, look at these eyes. 2 little ball joints atop some fairly long axles. Pulling on the back allows the pincers to flex a little bit, and the rubber band helps them snap back into place. Very nice. Now, it is worth noting, by the way, you can't actually build all of these models at once. Really, you can only build one at a time, which is a shame. I'd love to have these creatures interact or have a nice group photo showcasing all of them. Ah well. Over to the Bog Snake. This is a very creative design that uses pieces in a very effective and efficient way. Stringing all these Technic lift arms together to make the snake body, it's a good look. And actually there's still a fair amount of posability to this design. The nice kind of rattle at the back to make it a bit of a rattlesnake is interesting, but the play feature on the head is the best part. Check this out. You simply push up the back and the snake strikes forward, biting its enemies. A rather effective design. Man, this is the epitome of classic Bionicle. These old style techniques are so charming. Oh, and yeah, there's a snake in my boot. Still a few more Rahi to go. We have the horned Rahi, the Vako. Big fan of this face, very posable, and the way that the horn flares out of the top, real nice. The play feature allows this creature to kind of flex its back and move its legs. It lets it sit down, I suppose, or at least, move the legs a little bit so you can pose it a little bit more. How good are the gear functions in this set? All these different play features have been so much fun. I'll finish off with a few more shots of this creature resting and moving its legs in different positions. Now that's it for this Rhino Rahi. Over to a toad-like Rahi. This is the Makika. Everything about this dude is so cute. But then you got these large clawed hands, and suddenly they look a bit more like a real threat. Another great play feature here, the creature can open and close its mouth when you press down on the back. And then probably the most famous model from this set, since, it's right there on the front of the box, this is the dragon lizard, Haikaki. which, I thought at first was just a large bird, but no, it's a dragon. A nice little head design here that flips a Mutterfoot around and uses studs for eyes. I like it. There's actually 2 play features on this one. Moving the little lever here allows the claws to flex and fall. Very nice, very nice. And then another play feature, if you twist the tail, the whole body dips down and lifts back up. Now, of course, this one is the largest model within this set, and it uses most of the pieces. Not all of them, but most of them. Still a few more models to this set. We have Takeya, also known as the King of Sharks. Another very bare bone and minimal design. If this set came out today, all these gaps would be covered up and there'd be heaps of armor slapped onto it. There's something so quaint about the older building style here. You just don't see the LEGO group building like this anymore. Now, once again, there's another biting function. Moving the fin up top allows the lower jaw to move in and out. And now the final model, which is a surprise favorite of mine. This is the Fusa, a kangaroo-like Rahi. Oh, of course, the Australian likes the kangaroo Rahi. How predictable. But look, they captured the shape of a kangaroo really well. It's amazing that the limited amount of pieces you get in this set allow you to build so many accurate and well-made animals. This curvy orange tail is fantastic, and I like the fact that it looks like they're wearing red shorts. This boxing kangaroo has the best play feature in this set. Pulling down on the levers allows them to punch their enemies. This is such a fluid and quick motion, it's magnificent. Here it is in action if you're curious. This is just so addicting to play with. Easily the best of the bunch. There you go, gang. That's all 15 of these models that you can make with the parts that come in this set. Now, as we always do, let's look at a few different ways that you could build mocks with the parts that come in this set. And then we'll see a few revamps of some of these creatures as well. So you get this lovely orange Picari in this set. So pretty. Alva Christo uses this mask for a head design, but in not a traditional way. Instead of the mask being up front, it's resting at the top of the head, forming a kind of larger helmet design. I think it's awesome. The set also includes a large variety of Technic lift arms, like the ones you can see here. Brick Brickelson has some older Technic spiders that use these pieces for legs. The way that these pieces droop down, it makes these legs look kind of eerie and creepy. Perfect for some horror vibes. Another piece that's included in this set is this Technic block in dark grey. Kraken Bonks uses this down here on the lower legs. It armors things up quite nicely, and the way that it blends in with that upper leg, it's sensational. This honestly is a really good piece. It's a shame that it's a little bit older and harder to get. I mentioned that gearbox in red. So let's see how people have used this piece, just in those more common colours. Powjump has built Toa Ord, and if we take a look at the base of the waist, we can see this piece in black. This appears to be doing a lot of work to help shape the frame of the body. And also the way that this piece ends with that gear down below, it just looks cool. Maybe you could use this part next time you build a custom torso. And finally, what about these red Technic panels? How could they be used in a mock? Well, Pink J97 uses this metallic green variant of this part, and they're using it in all kinds of different ways. We see it as leg armor, torso armor, shoulder armor, and even some on the edges of the torso. And how good does this look? Why not use similar techniques to this, but change up the color from metallic green to red? Alright, now let's see a few revamps of some of these creatures. Starting off with the Fiku Spider, well, Jake Brickhorde has built a larger version of this little guy that's a bit more accurate to a real-world spider. Look at these little mandibles at the front of the face. Look at how they've used a crana for the head, and then all these tiny, thin legs. It's nice and creepy looking. Hey, if you want to build this, you actually can. There's instructions for it on Flickr. I'll have a link to them in the description below. Now, let's see a revamp of Hikaki. Chuck Nofel has built a version that drastically changes the look of this creature, and makes them look a little bit more dragon-like. This is fun. The body design still feels in line with the building style of the original set. It's using some of these Technic lift arms and stringing them together in a way that feels very old but very fun. This is well designed and a nice way of reimagining the creature. I want to see a revamp of a crab. It's always time for crab. Cody Avery has a Usul crab that they've made, and this bad boy is a lot bigger. Look at how the shell is using the torso armor and the mask that comes on Nex 3.0. And then the little mixel joints in black for eyes. This is a great way to recreate those original eyes. And this is a great mock. And finally, let's see our boy Husi. They've been rebuilt by Peter Shaker. Look at this much more flexible neck. The bend that it's got going on is really nice. The redesigned face, it keeps the charm of the original, but it adds a little bit of sugar and spice. Like this kind of mohawk stemming out of the back. It's a nice touch. The running pose that they've got is very fun. This is just a really brilliant advancement on that OG set. So much more posable and so much more full of life. Man, this set is amazing. So many great creatures and so many great creative possibilities. I love it. And I loved these mocks as well. If you liked the ones that I showcased today, be sure to take a look at the links in the description below. You can see more from those builders right there. Thanks for watching, guys. Oh, and big shout out to my parents for buying me this set while they were on holiday in Chicago. They got this at a local Bricks and Minifigs. And big shout out to Abby, who works at that Bricks and Minifigures, who was a fan of the show. Thanks for watching.